His leaks have been pretty consistent. This dude, this My Time to Shine, hello?
Yes and no, yeah. Some are okay, but...
Well, he talks about that Battle World shit in this and confirms basically that Secret Wars is the Battle World thing that I've been telling you is going to happen. I mean, that was obvious, but I wonder if this is true. Like, he broke down what that Kang movie was supposed to be, and apparently it was going to have Nick Cage Ghost Rider in it. So if that's true, I guarantee you he still shows up in that Secret Wars movie, because that would mean they have a contract with him, wouldn't it? If that's true.
It depends on how far along they were.
I think he would do it anyway. Nick Cage likes that character.
Here's the problem with this leak. This leak sounds like fan fulfillment wish shit to me.
Yeah. And that's always like you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt, because, yeah, they don't care about what the fans want. They care about what's going to make them the most money and make the most financial sense. And sometimes bringing back some of these actors doesn't make any sense. That's why, like, some of the actors like Vinnie Jones didn't come back to play Juggernaut, because probably too expensive and they didn't want to waste the money on it. Like, just get another actor.
They're for sure doing that Battle World shit for Secret Wars.
100%. There was rumors that they're gonna, whatever movies get released between Doomsday and Secret Wars are going to take place on Battle World, which I wouldn't be surprised by that either. So
it's kind of dumb.
I mean, apparently, the rumor anyway is that, like, Spider-Man 4 will be on Battle World, which would make sense, I guess, because that's technically, like, back in the original Secret Wars. That's where Peter gets the black suit for the first time.
That happened in Battle Planet, dude. That happened in the original Secret Wars.
I was going to say,
it came from a machine.
Wars, yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
It came from a machine that had the black
they're
suit.
They're just going to merge all this shit together. That's what I'm saying.
The black suit was contained in a machine, and he got it. And in the Battle World Secret Wars, Peter was in a world run by, I forget his name, but he was killing and stealing people's powers and stuff. It really wasn't even connected to the Secret Wars stuff. It's called Renew Your Vows.
Renew Your Vows, yeah.
Yeah, that was what Spider-Man was doing. The black suit, that's all from the old, the good Secret Wars.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't test me on my comic book knowledge.
They don't even.
But I'm just saying, like
this
is what Marvel is, right? They're just going to take what they like out of everything, and then just cherry pick what they want.
I do think he's going to get the black suit in Secret Wars, though.
Yeah,
I do think. I think they'll find a way to.
How much you want to bet Miles Morales actually gets the black suit?
I guarantee you, Miles Morales will be the main character of it. Like, he'll be the fish out of
that'll be up to Sony.
They showed in No Way Home that, like,
that's up to Sony if that happens or not, and I don't know if they would sign off on that and give them 2 Spider-Men. I don't think that happens.
He's kind of their cash cow.
If they were to, like, do that, they could use Secret Wars to set up Miles. And then, like they do with the 2015 Jonathan Hickman run, that's how Miles enters 616, right? So
that's the whole purpose of that Secret Wars book, was to move Miles Morales into the 616.
Yeah, basically. So, like, the way I look at it is that Doomsday is going to be your Avengers, Infinity War. Everything gets blown up, whatever. The Battle World gets made. Whatever movies get released between Doomsday and Secret Wars, they're on Battle World, I guess. So that's how you can have another Spider-Man movie with your Toby and your Andrew, or whatever they want to do, Miles Morales. Then Secret Wars happens.
I don't think they bring Miles in until Tom wants to leave, and then they kill him and replace him like they did in the comics.
And I don't think Andrew Garfield and
I don't think you're going to see 2 Spider-Men in the 616.
Well, I think
I wouldn't be surprised.
I disagree with that. I don't think they'll ever bring back Garfield and Tobey Maguire again. They might, but I doubt it, unless it's just for, like, a cameo in the Secret Wars Avengers movie. But I am almost sure at this point that we're going to see a live action Miles Morales at some point.
Oh, for sure. I think Sony will do it.
And I mean soon, because here's the other thing is Sony can't seem to do anything right. Like, they even fucked up Spider-Verse, right? They set up a sequel that they weren't even ready to release yet. And I thought they were making both of them at the same time.
Oh, and they were supposed to. That's what I thought.
Was telling everybody this movie's not coming out. And then, because I was hearing from the voice cast and shit and some other things, like some rumors that they had not even recorded their voices yet. And I'm like, if they haven't recorded their voices yet, then they're not even done. They're not even close to starting.
They dropped the ball with that third Spider-Verse movie. They dropped the ball. I was under the impression
they were making both of them at the same time. I have no idea what the hell happened there. So that makes me wonder what's going on. So I don't know. And then I think they still got 2 movies left with Tom on both ends, I think, where they got 2 Spider-Man movies, and I think he's got 2 appearances, and of course his 2 appearances would be Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Yeah, he's going to be in Doomsday and Secret Wars for sure.
And so that means there's probably going to be a Spider-Man 4 and 5, but I wouldn't be surprised if Spider-Man 5 is him and Miles together.
Yeah, I guarantee that. I guarantee that, because it would almost be like Spider-Man 2, the game, which I don't really like.
They're
that
going to try and basically
like,
bring the live action version of Spider-Verse over. You watch.
I just don't think that makes any sense when it's a perfect. It would be a reason to move on to that when he costs too much money, because eventually Tom's going to want money.
I agree with you.
Robert Downey
be there,
Jr.
But you
money.
have to have that passing of the torch, though. Flash.
That is the passing of the torch. He dies, and then he's like, "Oh."
But they have to have the same couple.
I
don't think
together. They're going to kill Tom Holland. I think if anything, it's kind of like the ending of Spider-Man 2, the game, where Peter goes on like hiatus or what you will,
which is fucking stupid because the mission never ends.
I agree, but like, I don't see them ever killing off Tom just because of like the brand recognition, and the guy's still young, you know.
Yeah.
Even by the time Secret Wars comes out, like 2027, the dude's not even 30 years old yet. Like, he has gas in the tank. You know what I mean? But I think what's going to happen is Secret Wars happens. Everything gets soft rebooted. Like, I still think obviously the new Fantastic Four is going to stay. I do think once Secret Wars is over, you will have a new Captain America. You will have a new Iron Man, probably a new Thor, because Chris Hemsworth's been doing it for God knows how long now. And then they bring in the X-Men because the next saga is mutants, whatever. And we can clearly see that when they make movies with mutants, they sell. Deadpool and Wolverine, for example. And the X-Men animated series is great too. So I think the X-Men will become the de facto main faction, if you will, the new Avengers, I guess, for the MCU. And then you can have fun with it. You can reboot the Avengers. Then you can have your Avengers versus X-Men movie. I'm not saying they got to do like the comic, but, you know, kind of like with Civil War, like they used the name Civil War, but they changed a lot of the inner workings of it for the movie to work. And I think they'll do the same thing. Like Avengers versus X-Men, you have Captain America and stuff fighting Wolverine and shit. I think it could be cool. Do I think they'll land it? I don't know. I just hope that
there's some rumor that I saw Chris Gore, because there's an article out on it on Park Place and Bounding talking about apparently they've been secretly firing a lot of the really woke producers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be smart.
Well, and I kind of didn't. Don't you guys remember I was saying that basically that's kind of what was happening over at Disney everywhere but Lucasfilm?
Yeah, Lucasfilm's never going to change.
Yeah, they're on the Epstein Island over there.
Part of me is still kind of, part of me still kind of hesitant because we also, there's been a lot of talk about this bridge stuff that's coming out, and that basically like they knew that DEI was never going to last, and I say this because I also know people that work in like work for the government that work within like the confines of DEI hires and DEI management. And they've been saying, yeah, we always knew this was never going to last. So what we did was we infiltrated it and we made the very policies of the company so focused on like DEI and equity and all that stuff that even when these people are gone and when they fire them because they knew it was going to happen, the very structure of the corporations now have within their like foundations like DEI and equity requirements. And I don't think that that's going to go away unless somebody actually looks at the books and goes, yo, why are we doing it this way, or why are we doing it that way? You know, it's just like with like Amazon, they don't have necessarily like DEI hiring practices. They just have a checklist they have to follow. And nobody's like making a stink about it because they go, well, I get to make whatever project I want. I just have to follow this checklist. What's the big deal? You know, and I really wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of what Disney's pulling right now. Try to get fans back and get the hardcore fan base back by doing all this firing, but the actual core of the company still functions the way that they're trying to make it function. So
yeah, I'm sure Disney will be swamped in this shit for years, but from everything I've heard from multiple people through, that have sources on, through Marvel, for the people I've heard through my rumor mills and everything, like even Kevin has publicly licked his wounds a little bit by admitting to certain, even Deadpool and Wolverine, the fact that they let that through in the movie tells you that's their way of saying, yeah, we fucked up. Mistakes were made.
Mm-hmm. Did you see that tweet from Ryan Reynolds?
About the Jamie Lee Curtis
so
thing?
Jamie Lee Curtis chat. Jamie Lee Curtis was like, I'm sorry for making fun of Marvel. I apologize to Kevin Feige, which she really said this. And then Ryan Reynolds retweets her and says, wait, people got in trouble for making fun of post-Endgame Marvel?
It's pretty wild.
Well, the funny thing about it is like, I don't think she should have apologized. I don't think she should have been in trouble for saying anything. I just think somebody like her shouldn't be throwing rocks when she lives in glass houses called the Halloween trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh, those movies are shit.
That's what I'm saying.
The first one I kind of liked.
It was okay, but after that, it was like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
if anybody should be talking about bad movies, it's the last person is her right now, is all I'm saying. But on that note, like, what the fuck? Because somebody had to call somebody, right? Because this is what happened, guys. So for those who don't know the whole story, she was in some roundtable interview thing, and somebody brought up Marvel, and somebody said, well, what phase is Marvel in right now? And she quipped back, bad. And everybody laughed, and it was funny. It was a joke. She's not wrong. It was a funny joke. So then that got around, and so somebody probably called at Disney, probably called her agent or something like that, and let them know that was not a good move to do and all this kind of shit. And her agent probably panicked because God forbid anybody, pisses off the House of Mouse. But at the same time, she is a very active actor. She may want to work in one of these movies at some point.
What would
right
she
now,
play, though? That's what I don't get.
It doesn't even matter because at this
Black
point, she's
Panther.
making a movie with Disney. Right? At this point, she's making a movie with Disney, so that's all it takes, right? She's making that Freaky Friday 2.
Which makes no so stupid.
Yeah,
I'm trying to. I was thinking about, because we talked about this on your show on Friday, and I'm still trying to think, what character would she be able to play?
Well, I remember people used to have kind of
theoretically?
fan casted her as the older Madam Web back in the day. And
Yeah,
that'd be good.
Marvel's already ruined that. So, or not Marvel, Sony. Like, Sony controls Madam Web, so would they let her be used? If they did, she actually would be a great Madam Web. I'm not going to lie. She could play that part.
Yeah.
What else could she play, though, like in the MCU? She's too
She
old.
could always play somebody in like the TVA or some agent of some sort.
they'll
now that
just
Shield's not
label
around
her
anymore,
as some
but-
character that that isn't anything like what she is, because they don't care about canon. So
Right.
I'm trying to think of old dried up women in Marvel that she
Well,
could play.
you gotta
She
think
would
of
have made
what
a
you-
good Aunt May had we already had what's her face, Marissa.
I like
they did
Marissa
to-
Tomei's.
I do
I'm
too.
tired of
Yeah.
old Grandma May.
Milf.
She would have been a
Right.
decent one, is what I was saying. But yeah,
I actually
remember
like
when
that
they
they
did
went.
to,
I like that they went younger with her in the MCU.
I think all straight men agree with
yes,
you.
we are.
yeah.
Well, and it makes more sense because at this point, you like look at the age of what they always had him in the comics. Is like, is that more like his great great uncle and aunt? Because like, yeah, they're way old and they're
Well,
supposed
that
to be
just
like.
means like his parents had him later in life, because
Yeah.
like that's the ages that like my aunts and uncles are. My aunts and uncles are like close to 70s at this point.
Well, it would almost have to be like Ben's brother's son or something like that to be even accurate. But like
Somebody,
I
I don't know who said it, but somebody in the chat said it, and I agree. She would have been a good Agatha,
yeah,
because
Oh,
Agatha's
that
old.
that show is gonna be dog shit, dude.
that's gonna be dog shit. But yeah,
I don't even want to watch that. That's actually like where I'm just like, I don't even want to like waste my time with it, to be honest. And I watched Echo.